Hi guys. One night I was praying to the Lord about eternal companionship, and I believe it's when I received this dream. There's a lot more going on in this dream than eternal companionship. It has to do with sin and the overflowing of sin in the world. And it starts off. And I'm gonna summarize this the best I can. I'm gonna jump around a piece of paper. And my mom's in this dream too, as far as like sometimes in dreams or visions, I'm being told to help this person or help that person, and I won't get into her sin or anything online, but I was being told to help my mom. It starts off, and get excused the fact that I'm in the bathroom and I'm standing there about to pee in the toilet. All right, it's this filthy, filthy toilet. And then all of a sudden, as I'm looking down this filth, and you gotta realize to me a toilet, just automatically I think filth. So when I hear of a toilet overflowing, it's just like the sin of the world overflowing with filth. Well, anyway, as it starts off, my mom's shirt is nicely folded. It's halfway in the toilet and halfway out of the toilet, evenly split. So I helped my mom by removing her filth out. Okay, and then another object of clothing appears in the toilet of my mom's, I'm not gonna go into her sins, but he kind of resembled her sins. I take this out and I take it out as well. And then as I'm sitting there, something strange happens. This beautiful blonde girl walks in. It's like she's staring at me. Sometimes I wonder why the Lord gives us dreams like this, because it's like, okay, I'm peeing and I'm standing up, and the beautiful blonde girl comes in. She's just smiling at me, and I do something that I would never do in normal life. I kind of sexually flirt with her. I don't know why I did that. It's just one of them dreams, and I probably shouldn't even tell you guys that. But I'm like, I jokingly make a joke to her. I'm joking to her, like, like of course I'm peeing here, and she's looking at me, So it was, but I think the Lord was trying to put a point on this. As I'm sitting there, she smiles at me. I get this feeling like we're connected, me and this girl somehow. And no, this is not who I think my eternal companion is. But I'm confused in this one part, but I'll get to it because there's a blonde and there's a brunette. And as I'm sitting there, she's looking at me. She doesn't say a word, never says a word at the beginning, and she just walks out. And then all of a sudden, I go to pee, and it starts to overflow. It's overflowing. It's getting all over the bathroom. It's overflowing, and I'm in some kind of trailer or something in this or house. And this trailer, I'll just call it a trailer. This trailer is overflowing. That the living room is overflowing. The kitchen's overflowing. This filth is just filling up this trailer. We have guests. We have all kind of people in here, and it's just filling up this trailer. And weirdly, one half of my body, and I don't remember if it was just one of my right leg. I think it was my right leg. I don't remember if it was like one half my right side of my body or just the right leg, but it was covered in this filth, in this slime, in this greasy, just this filth. And so I do something weirdly. I go to the living room. Everybody's in there hanging out, and I go to the living room and I lay on the floor and I cover myself. I hide myself with a blanket. Like I didn't want anybody to see me. So this pretty blonde girl, she walks in. This I don't understand this at all. She walks in and she takes the blanket off of me. She throws the blanket off of me, and then she starts to wipe all the filth off of my leg. She cleans my leg. She cut my leg up in there, and she's cleaning my leg. Okay, and then jump around here. Then I get to a scene. The scene changes here, and I'm in a I'm in the living room, and I my it's he kind of looks like my stepfather a little bit. My stepfather had kind of long hair, and he was like, he looked. It was the father came to me, but he looked like kind of like resembled my stepfather, and I know why he did that. He did that because he wanted to let me know, look, I'm coming in as your father, a father figure. I'm your father. So I go, and there's this huge guy who looks kind of like my stepdad, but he's not. Watch, I know it's Heavenly Father, guys, but he's sitting on the couch, but he's huge. I mean, he was like 15, 20 feet tall, and for some reason, the next thing I end up on his lap. Initially on his lap, I'm like on his. He's so big though, I'm like barely on his knees, like a baby almost. And I've never really had a dad, guys. I had a stepdad, and I was mistreated my whole life, and so I really never had a father figure. That's one of those things. That's why I always tell you guys in other videos that I always, my Father has always been my Father in heaven, which is kind of probably a good thing because it's brought me closer to God in that sense. And but I feel love for the first time. I feel great love, and I'm sitting there, and they're telling me all these secrets, all these great things. I come not to remember what the heck they were telling me. I wish I could remember. It's one of the things when you hear all kind of cool stuff and you wake up and you forget. But I do remember one thing he had told me, and he had told me that he was very pleased with me. Or actually, as I sat in his lap and I could feel the love coming from him, the person to my right was sitting there. He's telling me these secrets. He's giving me compliments. Your Heavenly Father is so pleased that you're trying to be like your Heavenly Father. Kind of like you're trying to be like Dad. And Dad's really pleased. I'm not going to use the word proud, but he's kind of proud of you, for trying to be like him. And I'm just, for the first time, I'm feeling loved, and I loved it. And then the scene, if I remember correctly, let me get to my notes here. The scene changes, and I meet a friend, and this friend is his name is Adam, strangely enough. And Adam is pretending to be my friend. Well, he's at first I really believe we're good friends, and he acts like he's all like one of my best friends, but behind my back, come to find out, he's like really against me. He talks bad about me. He doesn't like me. He's just a wolf in sheep's clothing. And then, but then the scene kind of changes again, and then we're at the same living room, but it turns into like a more of a party gathering scene, and there's two groups of people. I'm standing in one group at first, and we're all talking, and I look in front of me, and I'm like, the most beautiful, my dream girl, guys. Like, would you picture your dream girl, your guy, if you're a woman? Would you picture your dream eternal companion sitting there? That's who was standing in front of me, And honestly, I shouldn't even say this, but she looked like Nina Dobrev. Okay, Nina Dobrev, an actress. I thought that was kind of funny because I was looking up that I thought she looked familiar and it looked kind of like that actress that plays in the Vampire Diaries. But that's who she looked like, if you're curious of what my dream girl was looking like. But anyway, as I'm sitting there and I'm looking at her, I'm like, wow, she's so beautiful, and something happens to where I'm called to the kitchen. So I go to walk away from this group with my dream girl, and I'm just thinking, and all of a sudden the second group, I look behind me, and there's a second group of friends appear to the right. And in this group of people, I see this guy who my friend. He always shows up in my dreams and visions as my friend. Sometimes I know it's Jesus Christ, but in some visions, in dreams, I'm not sure if it's somebody else or him, but it's always a friend there. And this friend smiles at me, and he says, "Jason, look." And he does this really smiling, and he does this gesture like, look back at the group of people you just left from. So I look back, and I notice that my dream girl, she's see-through. Like, she's there, everybody else is solid, but she is see-through. It's kind of like she wasn't even on the earth. Kind of like she was, I'm not going to say angel, but it's like she was not physically on this earth right now. And then I start to become aware that there are angels in this place. I look around and I see 4 or 5 other people who are see-through, here and there. And so, as I notice this with amazement, I think this, the blonde girl, she comes back and she takes my hand and she takes me to the room of this trailer. She's taking me to this room, and I'm like, I'm like the walk of death for some reason. I'm walking into this room thinking, all I could think of in my mind was, it was like I was telepathically communicating with the angels. I will not sin with this woman. I was also trying to get this dream girl to hear me too telepathically. I will not sin. I don't know why I'm going to this room with this girl. And so I start to go back to the room with this girl, and I try to keep the door open, and all she keeps saying to me, the only time I've heard this blonde girl talk, she says, "Do not trust Adam." I think she says it like, more than likely she said it 3 times, "Do not trust Adam." and she's telling me not to trust Adam, and she's telling me stuff about what, like, he pretends to do this, but he's really doing this and all this stuff. Adam, as I thought about that afterwards, guys, Adam, is man. So for some reason, something about don't trust Adam. Okay, so as I'm standing there, then an angel pops up in front of the open door, and while the girl's telling me do not trust Adam, she is the dream girl. But it's funny, she didn't look like my dream girl. She changed her appearance. I don't know how that's possible, but deep down I knew it was the same girl, but she just looked different. And she didn't look at me one time. She stared intensely at this blonde girl, like either she didn't like her or she was like an angel telling me beware kind of thing. But yeah, she's staring at this girl, and then I keep repeating that I will not sin. I will commit no sin. Let me skip to the back here of my notes. Some of these are a while back, so I gotta kind of remember what I put down. But yeah, okay. So that pretty much ends that. But as far as eternal companions, guys, this is not the first dream that I've had, or vision for that matter, to where there's hope. God did not make us to be alone. Yes, if you're asking me my opinion on some of these things, I personally believe there are different degrees of glory in heaven, and that there are those who only become as ministering angels, who may not have the chance to be for this. But I don't know. I'm just guessing this. But the redeemed, 100%, there is no doubt in my mind from what I'm seeing that you will have an eternal companion. God did not make you to be alone. When Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, they were perfect, weren't they? And did they have eternal companions? Yes. God, Christ made Eve for Adam because it was not good for man or for woman to be alone. So why would it make sense for us to spend eternity alone, guys? You say, we're not going to be alone. We're going to be with angels and God. Well, yeah, but that's different. It's different. There will be eternal companions, guys. And people say, well, yeah, you look back at the scriptures and you hear where it says they were not, the lady who was married like 7 times, she would not be given in marriage. Well, yeah, because when you're married on earth, it's death do you part. What are the civil vows you make? To death do you part. Now, in heaven, you think they'll be getting married till death do you part? No, it'll be a totally different thing, ceremony, whatever. It's a different creation. It's a totally different thing. But yeah, I know some of you want to agree with me on this, but all I'm saying is, I can give my opinion as a man, and I can give you on a different level what the Lord is showing me, and from what He's showing me is, like I was telling you guys last time, there isn't much time. I basically was told there wasn't no time to start looking for a wife and get married and do all this. I didn't have time. That the rapture was about to take place, but as I was telling you guys last time, as I was feeling this, I'm at the wedding feast and I'm surrounded by beautiful girls I'm dancing with, and one I jump and hold hands with, and I jump into this eternal, this heavenly water, and then I'm receiving dreams about my dream girl. She is as who is probably Jesus, is telling me to look at a smile and showing me my dream girl is not of this earth. I mean, how else can I interpret this? I interpret it as look, you're called, serve me, do my will. I know your heart's desire. We all, most of us, my heart's desire is to be happily married to a really beautiful girl, and just to be eternally happy in heaven with an eternal companion. And who doesn't have that desire? But He's telling me you won't have time, but if you do my will, that you will be even. Look, she's your dream girl, Jason. That's who you have awaiting you if you do the things that I'm asking you to do. So okay, guys. Well, I hope you like this, and if you have any opinions or any comments, or please write below and subscribe, and give me your thoughts on this. And please tell me, who do you think the blonde girl was? Because if the brunette was my dream girl, I don't understand how to interpret the blonde girl, because she's telling me not to trust Adam. And she's doing a good thing. She's holding up my leg and she's wiping the filth off of my right leg and uncovering me. So she never really did a bad thing in the dream. So what is this separation between this dream girl who's not on the earth and this blonde girl who is physically there? If you could give me your interpretation on that, I'd love to hear it. All right, thanks, guys.